So Twitch's hatred towards VTubers just continues, and obviously, we've had a whole situation in the past couple of days talking about something going on with Twitch view bots, and obviously this wasn't just something that affected just VTubers, this also affected a lot of streamers over on Twitch, where they were losing out massively on viewers. But obviously the VTuber community were the ones that were very, very vocal about what is going on, with many even threatening to leave the platform, and, pretty much saying this is their last straw whenever it comes to how Twitch has been treating them, and also other streamers as well, because lots of people have been seeing massive dips in viewership, massive drops, and obviously a lot of these are actual legitimate viewers. Now obviously it was to be expected that a lot of viewers would be dropping from Twitch due to the fact of a lot of view bots being taken out, but it seems like there's been accounts from many people that are obviously testing it on their smaller kind of profiles, and that many of the viewers aren't being counted even if they are a real person. They sat in a Discord call maybe with like a friend or two, and obviously pulling up the stream, and then obviously the viewership number just doesn't go up because they've been flagged as a bot. And obviously what this person Neko Unix was saying was essentially that they talked to some people at Twitch and other tech companies as well, saying that apparently if you're a lurker, then that could also affect how your viewership is seen over on Twitch, which obviously Dan Clancy actually responded to in the comments somewhere further down, saying that, I just wanted to respond quickly, don't know who you talked to about this, but it's simply not true. So obviously Dan Clancy is refuting that, saying that it wasn't it didn't actually happen. But again, it seems like Twitch has become even worse of a place for VTubers as they continue to be disrespected. But obviously, it seems like as well, a lot of people are kind of, pushing back against Twitch whenever it comes to a lot of people being interested in joining, including Hololive, because if you don't know, Hololive is a company that obviously has been primarily streaming over on YouTube. I'm pretty sure they're all on YouTube, and essentially, they stream on YouTube, and it seems like they are interested in streaming over on Twitch, but it seems like a lot of the VTuber community don't want them to come over because they don't want them to face a lot of the kind of, troubles that you get for being a VTuber over on Twitch. And obviously, for example, we got this here is a post from Chris, the Holo Pro Simp. We've covered a couple of things on them before, including the situation with the Sakana, I think that was her name, where her artist was a little bit of a weirdo. But they say, looks like things are going to be interesting for Hololive. In the PC Gamer interview, Yagu said that Hololive might expand to Twitch, and he looks forward to having more gamers in the agency. So obviously, this was a pretty regular kind of article talking about the future of Hololive, and obviously one of the future things is they're looking for more competitive FPS gamer, VTubers, whatever. Maybe they're looking to start up some kind of esports or something. That would be really cool, to be honest. But obviously they also mentioned the fact that, they might go to places like Twitch and to let that lead to sponsorships and collabs in the future, which usually would sound pretty good on paper. Like if this was like 3 or 4 months ago, I think it would have been fine. I think a lot of people would have been pretty happy with it. But obviously a lot of people are now saying, for example, Twitch is, and he should avoid it at all costs. Honestly, they're better off on Kick at this point. As for the gamers thing, if he doesn't fix a retarded perms issue, I don't see this going anywhere. Many of the talents that have left have mentioned that they're not able to play whatever they want, was one of the reasons they left, which obviously, they are probably gonna have to fix that whenever it comes to that kind of stuff. But obviously, I kind of wanted to hone in more on the Twitch kind of side of things, because it seems like people are actively, saying that Hololive should not be going over to places like Twitch, due to a lot of the kind of issues that they've been having with the view bots, with the obviously targeting a lot of people with censorship. For example, we had the situation with Lucy Pyre and also Milky Ways as well. Them two getting banned for a day for apparently wrong attire, even though they followed the guidelines. And obviously, we see a ton of streamers over on Twitch, IRL streamers, doing way worse. I've seen it way worse on there. Honestly, it makes me even question if I'm clicking on the right site, and they don't get banned at all. And it seems like obviously the kind of favoritism from Twitch continues to get even worse. And, this is why a lot of people are kind of telling people not to go over to Twitch, and some are even leaving, some are switching platforms. And we've seen the rise of Kick. Kick has actually grown massively and is taking a big kind of market share of a lot of viewers from Twitch. And it seems like they are going to be another platform which is going to be kind of rivaling it. And I've seen a lot of VTubers, mainly indie ones. Obviously, I don't think I've really seen many agency VTubers go over to Kick, but mainly indie ones are now like thinking of multi-streaming. And honestly, I do think that is the best way to go, because it kind of consolidates how much, you know, you can do, and it kind of consolidates, you know, well, not consolidates, but kind of diversifies the areas that you can stream. So if there is a big problem over at Twitch in the future, because it seems like this is brewing, you know, we've had the viewbot issue, the censorship issue, it seems like they want VTubers out for some reason. I don't know why, but obviously, you know, if that does end up happening and they do make some kind of change, which obviously affects a lot of VTubers and is kind of the last straw for them, then obviously then you have those other platforms available like YouTube, like Kick, and all of these other places where you can go to. And I think that's why a lot of indie streamers, or these indie VTubers, because I know a lot of indie streamers, or I say indie streamers, just streamers in general, are multi-streaming over onto Kick and YouTube already. But I think if VTubers, it's not as well known to do that. A lot of them kind of just stick to Twitch or YouTube or wherever they are, just like specifically. But I do think if you are an indie VTuber that wants to kind of grow your audience and wants to stay a little bit more consolidated, a little bit more, I guess, steady and just safe in terms of, you know, a platform and keeping your audience, then I would suggest looking into multi-streaming onto Kick, onto YouTube, so that you can stream all the time. Obviously, continue streaming over onto Twitch as well. But then obviously if something bad does happen in the future, at least you're a little bit more protected and prepared, because, you know, if there is something that does happen with Twitch where they introduce some rules which could potentially obviously harm a lot of VTubers and maybe, you know, make some of them leave, at least you don't lose, you know, a lot of that following that you had, and you have already started up the process to build up a following on other platforms as well. So that, yeah, obviously if the worst comes to worst, then it happens, but also you're still streaming on Twitch. So if nothing does happen, then at least you've got all of these different kind of outlets for platforms. So if you're a VTuber that isn't doing that, I definitely recommend doing it. Obviously, I know Kick has had like a kind of, I guess, reputation over the past, you know, couple years or whatever. But honestly, I think, you know, it's definitely worth it, especially with a lot of the monetary stuff as well. But yeah, even just, you know, streaming onto YouTube, if you don't want to do Kick for whatever reason, maybe you got some personal reasons against it. Even if you don't want to do that, I definitely recommend just doing YouTube or any other platform that you can think of, maybe even TikTok, because again, it does help out and it does let you be a little bit more free from what is going on over at Twitch. Because again, if you're not free, then you're just forced to take a lot of these kind of rules and a lot of these kind of changes, which affects your viewership and affects a lot of, you know, what is going on. So again, even if you're like a fan of a VTuber, maybe even tell them, hey, you know, have you tried multi-streaming? Because again, it also, you know, helps you grow your YouTube. It helps you grow your YouTube as well if you, you know, want to stream over there too. So again, it's just something to keep in mind whenever all of this kind of problems are going on over at Twitch, especially pertaining to VTubers. But obviously, a lot of people in the comments as well of this post saying, I noticed this my last stream, I had 4 lurkers and it said I had 1 total viewer. Yeah, it's not good. Said, this kind of sucks. Speaking as one who lurks while at work and watching my favorite streams in the background, I'm not in the position to engage but enjoy watching. Does this mean that I'll be hurting the streams that I'm watching? You won't be hurting them, obviously. Say, oof, what a bad system. Lurkers lurk for a reason. Asking them to talk in chat is a big no for me. Said, I have proof that this new system sucks. I've watched an entire 5-hour stream from start to finish being active and redeeming, as well as 3 other users and my friend got 0 view count. I would lurk a bit to see my kids and come back and be active again. So yeah, obviously it seems like a lot of people that are legitimate viewers, obviously you can even see it says viewers here, but they have 0 viewers on the actual kind of tab here, which is obviously very weird, because you can also see people actively chatting in the chat too, and it says 0. So it seems like there's some issue going on there. And obviously Dan Clancy says, you know, that's not the reason or whatever. Maybe he's specifically talking about lurkers, but I think, you know, as Kitsu and Rosie put here, you know, it's not just the fact of, you know, oh, it could be lurkers or it's this or that. It's the fact that there is an issue in the first place. There is definitely 100% an issue with viewership, whatever that reason may be, whether it's because of the lurkers, whether it's because of a bug or whatever. But there is people actively in chats that are talking, that are interacting, and they're still getting 0 viewership, which is obviously only a thing that has come in ever since they've changed these viewbot kind of rules and kind of systems. So again, you know, we have to keep an eye on this situation as Twitch tends to get even worse. And yeah, I mean, places like Hololive, obviously looking to stream over there, might be a little bit deterred by a lot of this recent news. But hey, it seems like so far they seem to be continuing with, you know, obviously wanting to go over there. So we'll have to wait and see if that does happen. But yeah, that's essentially what is going on. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Also, go to GameSubs, use my code Kazza, get 10% off again. They got a ton of really cool stuff over there. I definitely recommend checking it out. Yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. That's all. See ya.